Now, this section of our lecture introduces us to a technique called partial correlation. You are not going to have to compute a partial correlation for the assessments for this unit. You will have to be knowledgeable of when partial correlation would be used as a technique as you approach your quiz for this chapter. So in general, I'm going to introduce the idea of partial correlation by giving you some questions that can be addressed with it. If I want to know what the relationship is between test scores and GPA, I want to be able to remove the influence of studying. Okay? Likewise, if I want to know the relationship between job performance and age, I want to be able to control for previous experience, because we know that previous experience is going to impact performance independently of age. And then finally, if I want to know what the relationship is between length of jury deliberation and sentencing, I need to be able to control for pre-existing attitudes. Now, partial correlation is a technique that was designed to kind of address these issues where we can't measure every possible variable that we think is also going to influence our relationship. So in the first case, I want to know what the relationship is between test scores and GPA. If I just measure test scores and GPA, I'll have an indication of the relationship, but I won't be able to tease out the relationship between test scores and GPA from the relationship between test scores and hours of studying. Likewise, if I want to know the relationship between job performance and age, I want my correlation to be just that and not the relationship between job performance and previous experience, which can masquerade as age. So partial correlation is a technique that allows us to statistically remove the influence of a third variable from our two-variable correlation. Now, the correlation between two variables x and y after removing for the common effects of a third variable z is expressed here. This is the partial correlation between x and y when controlling for z. And we can see here this is a complicated but not impossible equation. Okay, it's detailed in the textbook on how you actually work with these numbers. The purpose here is to show you that the equation exists. We're not going to be manipulating numbers to go into this equation for the purposes of this class. That's a little beyond what we need to do. I wanted to demonstrate to you that there are techniques that are available and that you can, if you should choose to, remove the effects of a third variable z with this equation. And if I want to know whether or not this partial correlation is significant, if I want to know if the relationship between job performance and age, removing for the influence of prior job experience, then I do so with a t ratio.